AFC Eastie Boys are in the house. Yeah. That's our intro, I guess. Anyways, what's up? Cat and Hat here. Coming at you with another episode. It's the off-season, Miami Dolphins off-season. We've had OTAs, day 2 today. Lots of player pressers. Of course, there was a Mike McDaniel presser. We saw Bradley Chubb. We saw Jalen Phillips. Zach Wilson. There's quite a few today. Yesterday we got to see Tua. Jalen Waddle had one a couple days ago. So we're going to break all that down. We're going to go into that. And we're going to look at where the state of the Dolphins are right now. Because, I mean, if you want my honest opinion, I don't think we're looking too bad going into this season. Yes, sir. Alright, but first and foremost, we've been getting a lot of love lately. I think you guys are forgetting where that subscribe button is, so let me show you where it's at right there. It's right there. Right there. Go ahead and tap that. Anyways, alright, so first off, obviously Mike McDaniel had his presser first. We're not going to go too much into what Mike McDaniel had to say. He did hit on a few key things that are pretty optimistic for this coming season. I do like that he's getting better with his speeches. Like he is talking better. He's talking more clearly, a lot easier to understand, and not so many not so many of those. They're still there. Of course, you can't have a Mike McDaniel presser without some ums and some uhs and ohs and a little bit of laughs here and there. But getting into it, breaking it down, one of the questions that was asked was why is every player acting or saying that it feels different this year? And he went on to say that they went into this offseason, they set expectations like these things aren't going to happen or these things are going to happen. Let me pull up the transcript for you. Give me 1 second and I'll pull up the transcript. But basically he went on to saying that they set expectations. So basically, like, you guys know how last year was. Last year was pretty rough. People were showing up late, if they were showing up at all. So basically, if you ain't got no one showing up for practice, how are they going to be ready for game day? They're not. They're going to get run all over come game day. So that's what was happening last year. So I looked up what the hell? I looked up the wrong thing. It gave me forecast for Miami. It's not what we're looking for. Let's see if we can pull up the transcript. That way we can quote him word for word. I listened to it a couple times today, so like I know what he was saying, but I couldn't quote him back to you. But anyways, so they set those rules. The team agreed to it. So that's why you're hearing all the players going around saying that something is different. The locker room seems different. The culture seems different. And it's because they set a standard and they're sticking to that standard. That's the first positive I'm taking out of the off season so far. Looking good. Another thing he went on talking about Kenneth Grant, our number 1 draft pick this year. We picked up number 13 overall. Nothing but good things. Like, literally, he went on talking about how this guy comes in, like, he's got leader mentality. He's pushing the team, showing up, showing out, like, overachieving. So that's going to be a good thing. That's going to be a really good thing. He also went on talking about some race that's supposed to be, well, he didn't really talk about it. So basically, like, he got asked about the race. I guess Friday, Tyreek Hill is going to have a race, a preparation race, because he plans on racing Noah Lyles sometime during the summer. I'll look into that. I'll get you guys some more info on that. So make sure y'all go smash that like and that subscribe so y'all don't miss out. Turn your notifications on as well. You might as well. Fins up, baby. I hope y'all can hear me. I'm trying to stay close to the microphone because I am getting comfortable talking with you guys. So it's like, more comfortable I get, the lower I might get. So the closer to the microphone I might get. Anyways. Alright, so he was asked about that, and he played it off like he had no idea. I'm sure that he's heard about it. He claimed that he didn't hear about it. He was saying, I don't know, I didn't know anything about it. None of the guys in the locker room are talking about it, so they're focused on what they should be focused on, and that's training camp. He made a couple jokes. You know how Mike McDaniel is. He'll be very blunt with you, but he'll make a joke out of it. They call that passive aggressiveness. So he was more so trying to get back onto the subject of training camp, OTAs, and football, and not anything that's not related to football. But like I said, I will look into that whole race thing, and I will get back to you guys as soon as I know something. Probably be tomorrow. So that was pretty much it for the Mike McDaniel presser. I mean, nothing too much really stood out other than those three things. How they set expectations this offseason, the team's sticking to it. That's why the culture is changing. The Kenneth Grant, man. If Kenneth Grant is as good as he's talking him up, we might be set solid on defense. That is for sure. But to go back to culture change, Bradley Chubb, he had a presser today as well, and he went on to double down kind of with Mike McDaniel about the culture shift. He got asked a question, more so along the lines of, like, the question he was asked was like, how did Mike McDaniel change to make things different from last year to this year? And he, like, went on to say that it wasn't so much that Mike McDaniel changed, it was more so that everyone around him just accepted who Mike McDaniel is. He's a passive aggressive type of guy, so he may be yelling at you or saying something serious, but he's like joking about it. So more so to say, Bradley Chubb and the rest of the locker room kind of adapted to who Mike McDaniel is so that they could win. If that makes any sense. I don't know. I'm like, whatever, whatever we got to do to get you guys in the building every day to practice and to perform and to show up. Let's freaking do it. Let's freaking do it. So, both Chubbs and Phillips had pressers. They both said they're feeling better. They both were practicing. So our defense can be good. Our defense can be good, ladies and gentlemen. It can be. Imagine this. Because we're talking about this. Imagine this. Having a big three at linebacker. Yeah, like the Miami Heat when they won their championships with their big three. Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and LeBron. Anyways, we got our big three back there. We got Chubb, we got Phillips, and now we got Chop too. Man, listen. I think what they got going on right now back there in defense, like with our if our front seven can apply the pressure, that's probably why we're not going out and wasting our time trying to find a needle in a haystack or a hidden gem in free agency in the cornerback position, because we do have some decent guys back there. We have young guys. They probably are pretty confident in our front seven because, like I said, he had a lot of good things to say about Kenneth Grant. So if Kenneth Grant comes out, he's already starting. You already know he's starting. So if he can make an impact immediately, if we can get Sealer signed ASAP, Chubb, Phillips, and Chop healthy, whoo boy, we could be applying some pressure to these quarterbacks. And it might not even matter who we have back there at corner and safety, because like if they don't get a chance to throw the ball, it's not gonna matter. It's really not gonna matter who's back there. Think about it. You're getting rushed every play. Every play. Like 95% of the time, like you getting rushed by somebody. We're gonna be able to switch out. Like that's gonna keep our guys fresh. So like can either have Chop and Chubb out there, have all three of them out there at some point, like bro, rotation, keeping those guys fresh and healthy. Ooh, but they gotta stay healthy. That's the key. Both Chubb and Phillips were out the last 2 seasons, so let's hope they stay healthy. That's why I think we're not going out wasting our time trying to find a corner. I think they're gonna let our young guys, like they did say it a couple of days ago. They wanted to let the young guys develop back there, and I think it's because our front seven is gonna be nasty on defense, nasty, pressuring quarterbacks like it's nothing. So if you're pressuring quarterbacks and they ain't got nowhere to go, they can't throw that ball, they getting sacked, they getting put on their face, put on their back, corners ain't gonna matter. Corners ain't gonna matter. So yeah, so you got Chubb and you got Phillips saying that they've been feeling healthy, they're ready to go, they're already practicing, they're practicing at a high level. Let's see what else we got here. We had Nick Westbrook Akine also had a presser today. We're going to call him NWI for short to save a lot of people some headache of trying to pronounce that name. Nick Westbrook Akine. I mean, it's not that bad. Anyways, I got to give a shout out to Omar Kelly here. This is where I got to give a shout out to Omar Kelly. I do got to say, out of all of the pressers that I watch, he is the only reporter that I can actually hear and understand from start to finish, and he asks really good questions. Shout out to Omar Kelly. He asked Nick Westbrook Akine about his red zone presence. And Nick Westbrook Akine is totally not against that. Why would you be? I mean, oh, you want to use me in the red zone? Does that mean I'm going to get 10, 12 touchdowns this year? I'm down for that. Which is where he should be. He's our big body. He's our big body in the receiving room. At 6'2", he's our tallest guy for sure. So we should be using him in the red zone. So 30 yards, 35 yards on the opponent up, like don't use him anywhere else. Keep him fresh, so that way like when we get to that opponent 35-yard line, that's when he starts going in, because he's that big body, can use him in the red zone. Like I said, shout out to Omar Kelly for asking good questions and actually being able to be heard on those pressers. You're the only reporter we can hear, just so you know. But so imagine this. So it's hypothetical here. I was thinking, what if you're Mike McDaniel and you got Nick here now, a big guy you can use in the red zone to throw touchdowns to. You're Tyreek Hill. You go up to Tyreek Hill and be, look, man, I know you're a big part of this team. and I know you want to get your yards. So what do you say? I get you 2K yards, but Waddle and Westbrook, NWI, gets most of the touchdowns. Tyreek Hill's a team player. Tyreek Hill's going to jump on that. He's already been trying to go for 2K yards. So, using Tyreek Hill from your 20-yard line to your opponent 30-yard line, all that yardage, yeah, he's explosive. He's still going to get touchdowns. Like, he's still going to get his touchdowns, trust me. We've seen it happen so many times where he just breaks the defender and catches one deep over the top and takes it to the house. We've seen him catch short passes and break some ankles and just kick the speed on and take it to the house for the touchdown. We've seen him do it. He's gotten his 80-yard, his 90-yard touchdowns, and he's going to get more of those. So, yeah, he'll still get some touchdowns, but the main focus will be that chunk yards, that midfield. We're using you for the front, and we're going to throw Akine in. We're going to throw Waddle in more. Like, once we get to the 30-yard line, those are packages. Those are going to be packages for them. And you're going to come out. You're going to get rest. You're going to stay healthy. It's going to keep our guys healthy. Do I think that's what's going to happen? No. I just think that's the best. That would probably be the best work, you know? Let Waddle and Nick get all the red zone work. I do think Tyreek Hill would be down for that. If he gets his 2,000 yards, he'll be down for anything, bro. He'll be down for anything. So, I mean, at the end of the day, though, like, Geno Smith and Zach Sealer weren't at practice. Well, Zach Sealer was at practice the first day, but he didn't do anything. Participated a little bit, but not in actual drills. Geno Smith has got unexcused absences all week, which is pretty concerning for me. He did say that he's been saying that he wants to retire in Miami, but the fact that you're willing to pay a fine in order to make a point, like, that's a little concerning to me, to be honest. I really hope we get it worked out with Juno. He's a good tight end. He really worked and clicked well with our offense for sure, especially towards the back end of last season once they figured out how to use him. But if he does gotta go, then he's gotta go. Then that's just gonna free up more air work for Devon Achane. And that's going to free up more usage for Alec Ingold in the tight end position to provide better blocking. Because we did bring in Ollie Gordon. Ollie Gordon is our biggest running back. He is a rookie, but he's our biggest running back. So, I mean, as a rookie, if you want to, like, get some game time, why not jump into the fullback position? Take the position that Alec Ingold mostly runs and let Alec Ingold slide over to tight end, because Alec Ingold is the best blocker on our team, period. He is the best blocker on our team. He might be the best team. He's the best team player on our team, like, all around. Guy won the Walter Payton Man of the Year award for the team. He was nominated for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award for our team last year. This guy's a stud. Underrated. So if we lose Juno, let's move Alec Ingold over to the tight end position. Let him play over there, provide blocking on the left or on the right, depending on where Tua might need it for certain plays. Ollie Gordon at fullback, like, that's a recipe for success. Like, we have the pieces. Are we going to use them properly? I don't know. It's a good question. It's a really good question. I really need my buddy to jump off of. Do you guys got any questions out there? Mm-hmm. Zach Wilson, in his presser today. Well, let's see how far it's behind now. Pretty far behind. It's like a whole minute behind. Oh yeah, yeah, a whole minute behind. Anyways, so Zach Wilson in his presser today, he went on talking about. I didn't know he was Polynesian for one. Let's talk about that for a second. I did not know that this man was Polynesian. Apparently he is. His father's comes from his father's side. Anyways, so he went on talking about how he threw an interception yesterday because he was not trusting the process, and then the way this offense works. Basically, the way the offense works is you're throwing to a zone, like you're throwing to an area. You're not necessarily throwing to a receiver, which might be the problem with why we can't get a viable backup quarterback, because like we're not the way this offense is designed, it's not designed like any normal quarterback or wide receiver is used to playing. Like you're throwing to a spot, and that's why Tua is so good at it. Granted, he's a great quarterback. I'm not trying to downplay anything going on. I'm just realizing what our offense is here, and it's why we're having trouble finding backups. That's why when we do draft or do get free agent wide receivers, we have trouble getting them acclimated, to so to say. It's why it took so long for Geno Smith to get acclimated. It's why he didn't really. That's my opinion on why he didn't really break out until later in the season, because he didn't get used to how the system is run. Because it is run differently than you would run in another team. Like a quarterback throws to a player, not necessarily throws to a zone or a place. Like, yeah, there's plays where like you throw to a zone, but it's not 90% of their playbook. So I think that's why we have trouble with our backup quarterbacks last year. Like that's why Skylar Thompson could never get it right. Tyler Huntley struggled to get it right. Who's some other backups that we've had? I mean, Skylar Thompson was most of it, and then we had Tyler Huntley last year. Now we're gonna have Zach Wilson. Like I said, in his presser, he was saying that he's struggling with the concept of throwing to a place, having to trust that his receiver is going to be there, because you're not throwing at the receiver, you're throwing at a place, and you got to trust that your receiver is going to be there. Nick NWI was saying the same thing in his presser, that he's having trouble getting used to the concept of having to be in a place by a certain time to catch the ball. Get what I'm saying? That's why we're having trouble with these 1 year deals, these free agents that we pick up, these backup quarterbacks. I mean, Mike McDaniel's cool and all, but this offense is too complicated. It's too complicated for the common man. Like, yeah, Tua is running it phenomenally when he's healthy and he's out there, which gets into my Tua topic. I have a theory. I said it last week. I'll say it again next week, and I'll say it every week and every time I get a chance until season starts. By the way, we got 86 days until season starts. We are your official countdown to kickoff. Tomorrow will be day 85. What will we have in store for you tomorrow? Today was tough. 86 was tough to find a number, to find a topic, find a fact, for today. I think tomorrow's going to be the same. I might have to use a player number. Anyways, I got off topic. I hate when I get off topic because then it throws me off topic. The Tua theory. So yes, I got a theory going on Tua that he's a good quarterback every other year. So basically, he's a good year, bad year type of quarterback. So he had a good year 2 years ago. Well, he had a bad year 3 years ago, good year 2 years ago, bad year last year. So this year should be a good year. He put the weight back on. I do feel confident that he has learned his lesson, kind of, to an extent, that he's not going to lead with his head. Hopefully he doesn't lead with his head anymore, because that's been killing him. But I think he's already looked for his backup. In his presser the other day, he kind of did slip up and mention that he will be looking into baseball in the near future. I don't know if that's like a backup in case he gets hurt again, but if he does end up switching to baseball, you heard it here first. Hit that like and subscribe. But I love Tua as our quarterback. I'm not gonna lie, I love him. He's great. He he's the perfect quarterback for this system. The way that this system is run, as far as the timing quarterback goes, perfect quarterback, perfect accuracy for it. He just got to stay healthy. He's got to stay out there on the field and play. He put the weight back on this offseason, so that should be a good sign. That should be a good sign that he will be available for us all year and play at an elite level. But so far out of OTAs, I mean, everything that I've been looking for so far, I don't know how the wide receiver battle's going. I do know that Malik Washington is killing it. He's been having good OTAs so far. He had orange jersey yesterday, so he must have had a good practice last week. So I do think Malik Washington is winning our wide receiver 3 battle. Everything else, Chop is doing amazing. Like, both Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb had nothing but good things to say about Chop. Like I said, the big 3 over there in linebacker room. We got it in Miami. We got it in Miami. We got it in Miami. Anyways, we got the big 3 with Chubb, Chop, and Phillips. So if them boys can stay healthy all year, I think our defense is going to be a lot better than people are anticipating. Like I said, our front 7 is going to apply so much pressure that the lack of cornerbacks isn't even going to be an issue. Like, people are going to go into the season like, oh, they got no cornerbacks, let's freaking pass on them. They're going to go and try and go pass heavy for 6 games. And guess what? The quarterback's going to end up on their ass. So you better watch out. Kenneth Grant's been killing it in OTAs. Kenneth Grant came into the locker room showing leader mentality as a rookie. Best believe Miami Dolphins going to do some big things this year. And you know what's great about it? Ain't nobody expecting it. But you and me. That's right. We expecting it. Fins up, baby. I'll catch you guys next time. Don't forget, hit that like and subscribe. Peace out.